Welcome back to the London Cup here at Rye House Kart Raceway. Organised annually by the Hoddesdon Kart Club, it's one of the most important race weekends on the sports calendar. Our next class is Senior Rotax for drivers aged 16 and above. The capacity grid of 28 drivers features two brothers, Todd and Josh Hatton.
This is the first time we've raced against each other properly since 2006 or 7, so there's quite a bit of pressure this weekend of who's going to beat who kind of thing.
We did 3 laps practice first thing. Yeah, it seemed kart looked all right, felt good. Confident for the rest of the day.
The London Cup this year is actually quite a strong level. There's probably 5 or 6 of us in seniors all within a tenth or two at the very front, and then it's close the whole way through the pack. So I'd say the top 15 are probably only separated by a few tenths. So it's going to be tough all the way through. Like our mini-max drivers in the team, like our teammates and stuff, they're all finding it very fierce, so it's good.
Josh Hatton qualified 5th for the final, with brother Todd in kart 43 starting 12th, while number 47, Ryan Dones, had a bad time in the heats and would have to start from last place.
Well, I started racing around the Daytona tracks and I decided I liked the sport, and I went to see some Formula 1 races, and that's when I decided I really wanted to get into it, and I had to push my dad, to get the MSA licence, and this is my 3rd year and 3rd London Cup. Hopefully we'll get into the top 5, not so sure about that though, but we'll get close.
Another driver looking to continue his development as a kart racer was number 31, Sam Gumbrell, now in his first full season competing at senior level.
We had a go last year in a junior max and was quite unsuccessful, and this year we've come back to Rye House after being in various places. My theory is to be the best, you've got to compete with the best, so therefore, although we might be middle running, we like to sort of have a go with the best kids and then say, well, as long as we've got a good score in the race, in a good position, then that'll be our weekend that's successful. It's like one of the highest standards I've seen in a while. I mean, a lot of Super 1 kids, the times this weekend have been fast, at a real high pace, and possibly I knew that record to be broken as well by some of the kids seriously quick. Well, for me, I enjoy the karting, and there are some big budgets here as well. I mean, some of the teams spend a lot of money on their engines, and a lot of people have their engines tuned for this race. For us, it's just we enjoy the sport. We like to come down here, get the kart, and we just try and compete as best as we can. And I think this is as far as we'll ever get, but we enjoy what we're doing with the standard. This is the standard we want to be in, really.
With the level of competition so high, 1 or 2 incidents are inevitable. 46 Jordan Scory and 32 Tom Thompson suffered a big collision in Heat 1. Happily, both drivers walked away, though Scory was faced with having to replace a bent rear axle. Number 13, Charlie Turner, one of several others to get caught up in the incident. Kart 24 is driven by Danny Robinson, who had a good run in Heat 1 to finish just outside the top 10. As you're about to see from his onboard camera footage, Robinson then had to call upon lightning reactions to try and avoid Andrew Winter, who spans suddenly and dramatically in Heat 2. Robinson almost made it through, but just clipped the spinner on the way past. Then a little later he breaks down and has to pull off the circuit. Another poor heat means that he'll be starting the final from the very last row. Even more unfortunate was number 14, Charlie Turner. He retired from 2 heats and never made the start of the final. At the complete opposite end of the spectrum was number 36, Ashley Sutton, and 00, Liam Ferguson. They finished 1st and 2nd respectively in Heat 1, did well in their other 2 heats, and would start the final from 1st and 3rd respectively. In between them, 2nd on the grid, was Martin Gange, while Andy Rees-Reynolds would start 4th, with Josh Hatton and Thomas Pryor completing the top 6. Back to Chris Hartley for the Used Car Network Senior Rotax Final.
Right then, they're all bunched up nicely. A little tweak of the carb, the race gets underway, and the pole sitter Ashley Sutton leads them serenely through stadium for the first time. On board with 24, Danny Robinson from the back. On board with Andrew Rees-Reynolds, number 39, who started 4th on the grid but has slipped back, I think, down to 5th position. Back with number 24, Danny Robinson. He runs into the back of Jessica Hawkins on the way through the first hairpin. It looks like he keeps going. So does Jessica. Here's a replay. And look there with the pink helmet. Jessica getting a real whack from Danny Robinson. I think they all just concertinaed up under braking. And because they were at the back, that was what caught Danny out. So the driver 5th in last year's club championships in juniors, trying to make his way through from the back of the field. There's number 43, Todd Hatton, just outside the top 10. And he was running with Scott Webb, number 21, who's come up from 16th place. So he's made up quite a bit of ground at the start of this race. Here's the lead group then. Race leader Ashley Sutton from pole position, 00. Last year's club champion Liam Ferguson in second position. Martin Gange, number 98, hanging on to third place for the time being, but right behind him, 44 Josh Hatton, back on board then with Danny Robinson. He's onto the tail of number 95 Aaron Burnage, and look how close they kept to one another. This is the onboard view from Andrew Rees-Reynolds. He's onto the tail of Thomas Pryor, number 71. These two battling inside the top 6. A couple of places lost at the start for Andrew Rees-Reynolds, but he's still in the mix. There he is in 6th position with the black and orange colour scheme. That's the driver with the onboard onto the tail, and number 71 Thomas Pryor. Here's the other onboard. Danny Robinson has a look up the inside and makes his way ahead of Aaron Burnage. Nice tidy move that to pick up a position. Here comes the race leader then, on the way into stadium. Number 36, Ashley Sutton, who was the 2007 British Super 1 champion and the Stars of Tomorrow national champion. He also won the British Open title in the same year when he was racing in cadet. So we're going to see a change for third. A good move that from number 44, Josh Hatton. Just about squeezed through. There wasn't much room, but now he leaves the door open on the way to the next corner, and Martin Gange gets him back. Back into third place he goes in that very bright number 98 machine, the CRG car. Back to third place then. That means that everybody else behind them has started to bunch up together now. Number 71, Thomas Pryor, who's equal second in the club championships coming into this weekend. He's there right with them, and he's got number 39, Andrew Rees-Reynolds, with him as well. Andrew with the onboard camera now all over the curbs, and look at the speed that these carts carry through the corners. They are so low to the ground, and another move from Josh Hatton. He's made it stick this time. Glance over the shoulder, third place he goes. And while that was happening, synchronised overtaking. This was the move from Andrew Rees-Reynolds at the same corner to get ahead of Thomas Pryor for 5th place, but they were both overtaken on the way out of the corner by Lee Ward. They both drift wide. Thomas Pryor drifts wide on the way out of the next corner, and eventually he might have to concede the position here to Andrew Rees-Reynolds. No, he doesn't. He keeps his elbows out and hangs on to the place, but they have both been passed now by Lee Ward, number 80 on the Formula K chassis, who's come up from 7th to 5th while they held each other up, delayed one another through the hairpin. Having another luck, here is Andrew Rees-Reynolds. Through he goes this time into stadium. Following him through, maybe it's going to be number 81 Dean Stark. No, he doesn't quite make it through. Here's a replay of the move on board with Andrew Rees-Reynolds. This is to get 6th place on the way into the first corner. The door opens up. He has to take a bit of curb on the way in, but he makes it fit. So good battle going on there. That's number 47 Ryan Dones, who's trying to come through from the very back of the grid onto the tail of 54 Rob Malloy. So there's number 44 Josh Hatton in third place. 4th, number 98 Martin Gange. And then this battle still going on for 5th position. The two leaders are still tied together. They're beginning to pull away now. 00, last year's club champion Liam Ferguson hanging on to Ashley Sutton, the race leader. And this then is the battle for 5th place. Number 80, Lee Ward has got some serious pressure now developing from number 39, Andrew Rees-Reynolds, who's 4th in the club championships. He looks to the inside on the way into the hairpin and makes the move. Plenty of grip on those slick tyres. Can he hold it into the next corner? I think so. He's got through, and a bit of bumping and boring just behind. Oh, contact, and 81 Dean Starks, the current club championship leader, went airborne then, but I think he's managed to land on all 4 wheels. So a frantic scrap going on here on the fringes of the top 5. Yes, number 81 is still going. Somehow he stayed on all 4 wheels. Right behind him, number 96, Andrew Winter, trying to get in this battle to finish in the top 6 now as well. So frantic scrap. There is Andrew Winter. He's made it good ground over the last couple of laps. 1st and 2nd then, with all this fighting going on behind them, have just begun to edge away. 47, Ryan Dones still trying to find his way past Rob Malloy as they make their way through Stadium Corner. And another good scrap going a bit further down the order. Scott Webb, number 21, 16, Jean-Luc Leister in that battle as well. Good move in the background from 84, James Lampton. Jocelyn Bogle, number 20, and 66, Andrew Wilkins, involved in that fight as well. There's 1st and 2nd. There's the race leader, Ashley Sutton, former Kart Masters champion, a former double Midland champion. Such a high pedigree for young Ashley. So not too many surprises for too many people that he's leading the race here at Rye House. There he is, but doing a good job of hanging on to him. He's last year's club champion, also a double champion at Hunts Kart Race Club at Kimbolton. Liam Ferguson, the only man that's able to keep pace with Ashley Sutton in this race. They're a long way clear now. Number 44, Josh Hatton on the Mach 1 chassis, who runs in 3rd place. And slowing down there with his arm in the air was Jean-Luc Leister. On board now with Danny Robinson as he tries to come through. There he is, number 25. He's on the attack. He's trying to get ahead of Rhino Russo. Number 94. Oh, out of the race goes Dean Starks. He was just outside the top 6, and he's the current club championship leader. So big disappointment for him. into the closing stages. Through come the top two. Getting his head down to try and catch them is Josh Hatton there in third place. He's a long way clear of fourth. Further back, this big scrap going on just outside the top 15. Jocelyn Bogle, number 20, now onto the tail of Reece Mallion, number 82. And in turn, they're trying to pick up a place ahead of 21, Scott Webb, who made a good start to the race. Still Concertina up, a little bit of contact maybe on the way through the hairpin. And Jocelyn Bogle picks up a place as a result of that. Back on board with 24, Danny Robinson. He goes up the inside now of Rhino Russo. That's on the way through into the left-hander. He runs a little bit wide through the first hairpin, but he's got the line covered on the way into the second hairpin, the right-hander. There, though, is our race leader, Ashley Sutton. He's been racing here at Rye House since he was 8 years old. He knows his way around this place pretty well, that's for sure. Further back, this little scrap still going on with number 21, Scott Webb, still hanging on to the place. They're just outside the top 10 now, those three. 11th, 12th and 13th. Slowing with the onboard camera there is Danny Robinson. Cart's still running, but he lost a couple of places there in quick succession. Here, though, is Ashley Sutton, and it's he that raises his arms in the air to take the checkered flag. He beats Liam Ferguson to win the race.
Ashley Sutton, Liam Ferguson and Josh Hatton are the three drivers who make it onto the podium, with Martin Gange, Andy Rees-Reynolds and Thomas Pryor completing the top six.
Brilliant race, we've had a brilliant weekend to be fair. Testing was going really well, broken that record in testing by 3 tenths, so just had to continue that on today, which we did. The start was the main thing, just to break my gap, get me there and then go from there, just hold the gap, which is what I did basically, so it's good.
Your race winner, Senior Rotax, the 2013 London Cup champion is Ashley Sutton.
Many congratulations then to all of our class champions here at the 2013 London Cup. From Chris Hartley and myself, Jack Nichols, thanks for watching.